Hello and welcome to Rando Rob. Each week on Rando Rob, I'll be showing and discussing one item from my large collection of collections. New shows appear every Monday, and throughout the week, I'll be adding older episodes of Rando Rob that were previously only available to my Patreon subscribers. You can watch episodes of Rando Rob on YouTube at youtube.com/Rob O'Hara. Just look for the Rando Rob playlist. Audio versions of the show are available on my website at podcast.robohara.com or through iTunes. Just search for Rando Rob. Thanks for watching or listening, and I hope you enjoy this vintage episode of Rando Rob. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Rando Rob. Today is Sunday, January 31st. Doesn't it seem like January has been about 12 weeks long? This month has been crazy. It's just been a super long week. I don't know if I was expecting something magic to happen in 2021 to make it seem. Look at all this crazy COVID beard. This is crazy. I gotta shave this off. That's the downside of working from home is nobody really cares if you get a haircut. Grow a big crazy beard. Anyway, so on the side here, you can see I have added a picture of someone dressed in Photon gear. It's funny that I found a random picture on the internet of somebody dressed in Photon gear because I have pictures of my friends and I going to a Photon arena, so I could have used a more personal picture, but Photon was a arena-based laser tag game that was in the 1980s. The early to mid 1980s was its heyday. And I did an entire episode of You Don't Know Flack about Photon laser tag. So if you want to find out more about Photon, I highly recommend you go find that episode of You Don't Know Flack because I talked all about it. I talked about my history with Photon. Photon I thought was going to be the sport of the future. I thought someday Photon would be in the Olympics. I thought that instead of countries going to war, that we would have laser tag. I just thought it was going to be the biggest thing in the world, and I didn't understand why it failed. I didn't understand why it went away, and we still have. We had a laser tag arena here that just closed because of COVID. They couldn't get people in, and they couldn't. That's definitely not a business that will survive on carry out customers, and so I think they're permanently gone. I hate it because. Obviously, I'm too old and out of shape to be playing too much laser tag these days, but man, did I love it when I was a teen. I loved, you felt like you were going to another planet when you walked in. It was like you had been transported to another time and space, and you were a Photon warrior and you played laser tag. And man, it was just the whole thing. It was a whole culture, And Jeff and I used to play a lot of Photon. We loved it. And it was just a big part of my teenage years. And so what I found out later is that there were some other things that went along with Photon. There was a Photon television show, which I never saw. And there's a few episodes on YouTube, but not very much. I just don't think it got archived. Hopefully someday somebody will end up with a complete run of that. But there were also 7 different Photon paperback books, and 6 of them were part of the same series. And it included the characters that were on the television show. And that includes this a main character, and now I can't think of his name. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to see if it says on here. Probably not. But it was this kid, and then what happened was, he would turn into a Photon warrior. He would get summoned and he would go to outer space and become a Photon warrior. And his Photon name was Bodhi Lee. And so he would go off into outer space with all these other people, and he would have to fight these bad guys or whatever. Like I read the paperbacks are very young adult, like they're geared towards early teens. And I remember the first one was about a time travel thing, and they had gone back, the bad guys had gone back to get baby Hitler, and they were going to use him to lead the bad guys in the future. I mean, it was just some really dopey stories. They're not very good stories, but I enjoy them just because they're affiliated with Photon. So I don't know how much other Photon swag got released back in the day, but this is one thing that got released, and this is copyright 1986 from Buena Vista Records, and this is the a Photon read-along storybook. Now, as you can see, mine is sealed. It's never been opened. And this is a story called The Tunnels of Danger. And so it comes with a 24-page book. And the reason I didn't open it is because somebody ripped a copy of this and put it up on YouTube. And so if you want to listen to this story, this silly story about Bodie Lee going into outer space and having to brave the tunnels of danger, you can just pull it up, just go Google Photon Tunnels of Danger, and you will find it on YouTube. It is one of those stories where they say, you could read along with me in the book. You will know it is time to turn the page when you hear the chime sound like this. And so there is the book is 24 pages. The story is, I'm looking at the YouTube link, and the entire story is 12 minutes long, so it's definitely not a very long story. This is copyright 1986 Photon Marketing Limited, and then Buena Vista Records. So I don't know if this is if these sorts of things, I don't know when they stopped making them. I know I grew up, I was born in 73, so late 70s, early 80s, I had all the Star Wars read along. You either got a record, a 45 record, or you got a tape. I think the early ones were all records. I had a Planet of the Apes one. I had a Batman one. So I had several of these, and I don't think they were that uncommon. I think a lot of kids had these. And then, of course, like I said, as time went on into the mid 80s, they switched from records to cassettes because a lot of kids didn't have record players anymore, but everybody had a cassette player. And so that's where you would have got something like this. And again, there's a picture, an illustration on the back here of two children who seem to greatly be enjoying this thing here. You can see they've got a, like a tabletop cassette player, and they're putting the tape in there, and then looks like the girl's in charge of the book there, so she's going to be the one turning the pages. So these were kind of cool, and I've bought a few of these. I find them every now and then at antique malls or thrift stores, mostly antique malls. I don't remember what I paid for this. I mean, just looking at it, I'm guessing it would have been more than $10 and less than $20. That's probably what I would pay for this. So probably, $15 or less. But it's a cool thing, and I love Photon. I have all 6 of those paperbacks I talked about of the series, and 5 of them you could find for about $5 on Amazon. And the 6th one was always listed more than $100. And I did eventually find it cheaper than that, but I still paid, I probably paid $40 for a paperback book, which is a little crazy. But when you have 5 of the 6, you got to complete the series, And then there was a second book that was just a standalone book that was more of a adult. It wasn't like YA. It was, written a little bit more seriously. But, the problem that they have is that Photon really appealed to, there's a demographic, and that demographic was, for the most part, teenage boys. So, I don't know that you could write a adult, market a book towards adults about laser tag, basically, was the problem. So you do get, I'm looking on here, this great drawing of Bodie Lee, who, like I said, was a teenager. It looks like his outfit, like there's some armor. He's got some stuff strapped to his hand. And then he has a chest plate that looks a lot like Darth Vader's. It doesn't quite look like the real Photon chest plate there, but you gotta juice it up a little bit for the comic there. And I guess I'm just looking here. I guess it is a different picture, but he's almost in the exact same stance there. But it is a slightly different picture. Looks like the face, the head is different. But anyway, I was just sorting out some things and I ran across this. Again, I don't leave this sealed because I think it's any great value or anything like that. But I have it sealed because there's no reason to open it because it's right there on YouTube. And if you want to listen to it on YouTube, you can listen to it that way. So anyway, just thought this was kind of interesting. Thought I would share it with you this week. As more organization and sorting goes on, I will be adding some more shelves behind me on the wall there, and so you'll be able to see some more interesting things in the background. So, well, we made it through January. February starts tomorrow, and we've got the rest of 2021 ahead of us. So I hope everyone is having a good 2021 so far. I think things are on the mend. Things are looking better. So hopefully everybody is still doing better, and I will be talking to you all shortly, either through Patreon or the next podcast, the next You Don't Know Flack, or the next Sprite Castle. So anyway, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Rando Rob. I'll talk to you guys soon.